Another secret that a lot of folks don't know about, if you've already been playing with XCL, you can actually download it as a desktop app. So there's a little pop-out box in your browser where you can download it to your desktop. So this is actually the downloaded version of XCL. It's all the same. So I'm going to log in. And the first thing that you're going to notice probably here is that there are two big color boxes. One's for creating a brand template and the other is for creating a learning link. So in order to set up your link, to set up your content, you're going to start by creating a brand template. The brand template is so that you can create a custom landing page for your links that will allow you to collect whatever data you want to collect about the individual learner. So I'm going to go in and just open one and show you what this process looks like. I'll just edit an existing one. We'll just do this one. The first thing that you'll do is give it a name. You'll name it. Then the second thing, and this is pretty important, you will point to what LRS you want to use. For most people, you probably don't have an LRS. You may not even know what an LRS is. LRS stands for Learning Record Store, and all it is a place where the data can go. So it's a database, essentially. We have a built-in LRS that comes with XCL. So when you get a subscription, you have an LRS that comes with the tool. Just as a spoiler, that is Veracity Learning's LRS is what's built into our platform. So you can default to using our LRS if you don't have one. For those of you who do have LRSs, or if you are a consultant who's working with multiple clients, you might choose to point their data to their own LRS. So if you do that, you can enter in their LRS details. For those of you who are already familiar with XAPI, the other cool thing about this is you can point your data at any time somewhere else. So you can decide that, you know what, for this brand template, I don't want to point my data to the XCL LRS anymore. I want to point it to Watershed or something. You can switch and point to a different LRS. Okay, so we're going to default to this one. The next thing that you'll have is your branding. So you're going to make a branded landing page. That's that page that they see whenever they first open the link. So whenever you send a link out to folks, however you distribute that link, this is what they're going to see when they open it. This branded landing page gives you the ability to modify the color and the logo. And you're going to be able to add in the alt text for your logo or cover image. It might be an image related to whatever that training content is. So you can set up your color, your logo, and you're good to go. It's very simple. Next, you're going to customize what fields you want to see in this form. Now, there's some cool stuff that goes on in here. One thing you can do is you can make it anonymous. So if you switch over to anonymous, it's going to just have a branded landing page and you click continue or next or begin. You'll be able to relabel that on a different, I'll show you that in a minute. So I can turn everything off and have it be anonymous, or I can customize it. And I can decide what fields do I want to have visible. I can also rename these fields. So let's say that you wanted to, instead of user ID, you wanted to say employee ID, or you wanted to say chapter number, or some other unique identifier for that individual. Or let's say that you're distributing content in multiple languages. You can change these labels to be whatever language it is. You know, if you're distributing things in Spanish or French or whatever, you can change these. One of our early use cases was Arabic, and we had it set up for right to left. So being able to set that up for languages was one of our first requirements for the platform. You can also decide whether you want something to be required or not. And if you want to see what that's going to look like, you just scroll back up and you can see which things are required and you can see which things are in your form. So I can change those anytime. All right, we'll just do this. I'm going to not make name required. I'll leave the email on. I'll turn this off just to see what that looks like. Okay, so I finish it. I have a brand template. Second thing you're going to do is set up your link. And setting up a link to your content. This is one of our admin accounts. So you can see we've been testing all different types of content. I'm going to show you for today something pretty simple. We'll just do a video. So I'm going to create a new link and we'll call this link XCL demo video just for ease. I'm going to apply whichever brand template I want to this link. Now remember, the brand template did two things. It gave me the actual visual branding of the landing page, and it also points to whatever LRS I want it to point to. So you might have two identical brand templates that look the same, but are pointing to different LRSs. It's just something you can do. So I'm going to go and select a background. Let's do something else. Let's do this one. Okay. Once you go in and you set up your brand template, you're going to customize what you want this page to say. So right now we have welcome to the XCL training module. Instead of that, we'll call this XCL demo video. And you've got some text, please complete the form to begin. I'm just going to leave that, but if you want to change it to an introduction or something else, you can add in whatever text you'd like. Once you are finished adding your text the way you want, you can change the button to say something else. Do it. I don't know. Whatever you want, whatever you want to change it to. And so we're going to go forward. Next step is to add our content. So I'm actually going to drop in a video, but there are two things you can do here. You can either drop in a file and that will put it into your XCL subscription storage. If you drop in a file, it's going to load up. You also have the option to link to content that you have hosted somewhere else. One of the ways that I use this, sometimes I have clients that have stuff hosted on AWS. Sometimes I have stuff that I've hosted on my WordPress server. I have things that I have hosted other places. Sometimes it's something public, like a website, right? So if I want to collect data from something that's public on the web, I can add in the URL to that content and then say what type of content it is. And so this will give you your tracking for that type of content. Some folks have asked me what image is in here for. I use that for things like infographics. So that might be a use case for you. But web links, I've put my website in here. I've put stuff in here for LearnX API. I've put help pages because I wanted to track and see who was accessing it. If I had a help link in a course, I've actually used an XCL link in a course to see did they access the help and be able to track that. Now, there are other ways you could do that. I'm just saying that is a thing that you can do. And then videos and XAPI published content. So you can actually link to a handful of things. This just came out of beta. This list is going to continue to grow. There are things that we're already doing that are not in this version that we're still making sure that we've worked through so that you can do it seamlessly. Because right now there are things that we can do that require a little bit of extra stuff. So what you have access to will continue to evolve. So let me go over here. I'm going to drop in a video, which just happens to be a video that we recorded of a VR simulation. Okay, so there is my video. I'm going to publish the link. When I get into the publish link settings, there are two options here. I can just go ahead and hit publish, or I can preview it. If I preview this link, it's going to open up in a web browser and I can test it out. So let me just show you what that looks like. I'm going to hit preview and it's going to open in a web browser. So let me switch my screen share. I'm going to share my Google Chrome. Okay, so here's the link that I just created. One thing you might notice is that my name defaulted in here. That is because I've used XCL in the past on this computer. If you've ever used any XCL link, it's going to have your information in here that you filled out last time, unless you did not check Remember Me. So if that was unchecked, it won't save it. Or if I hit clear form. So I'm going to hit clear form. If I go in here again, I'm previewing it again, it's not going to have my information anymore. So for folks that are on public computers and so forth. I also wanted to show something. There is a privacy statement in here, and the privacy statement just lets people know that their information is being recorded in an LRS. We have to do this for GDPR, so make sure that if you have additional requirements about notifying folks about what information is being collected, you would want to let us know. So that way that could be modified for any links for your particular enterprise account. Okay, so I am going to add my information in. I'm actually going to say remember me, so that way we'll keep it, and I'm going to do it. And here is my video. So I'm just going to fast forward. I'm going to change it to, let's change it to 2 times speed or 175 speed, and it completed. So real short video. When I go back over to, let's switch back over to XCL. And let's take a look at what that preview looks like in XCL in the data. So when I'm in XCL, I can now go back to the dashboard. So I'm not going to publish it yet. I just want to see what data came through. I'm going to head over to the dashboard and take a look at my analytics. So if I go to my activity stream, I can see everything that just happened in that video. So I can see that it's going to show up as preview, so that way I can filter that out later. And it will show all of the things I just did in this demo video. So let me scroll down. You've got where I launched it, where I started it, paused it, played it, skipped, paused, played, skipped. Most video data would not look like this probably. I was just messing around with it. But you can also see the duration, how long it took me to go through that video in between each action. So again, I can even see if they changed the playback rate. So I can see all the detailed information about this video, and I didn't have to put it on Vimeo or YouTube or somewhere else, or, go through their analytics. I can get all my data in the same place. So that is what that looks like. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over to my links and pull that up. So it's my XCL demo video. Notice that in my list of links, there is a little icon. Actually, let me change my filter here. I'm going to flip it this way. So on my link, you'll notice in the column where it says live, there's a little cross through icon to show that that's not published yet. And it also tells me what type of content it is and what brand template I used. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to publish this. By the way, you're going to have publish in this menu very shortly. So I'm going to go back in and edit it. And I'll go back over to my publish link and go ahead and publish it. And I get confetti, which is my most favorite part about this whole platform. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you the opportunity to play with this. So I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to put it in the chat. I'm going to let you play with it. And then I'm going to switch over to the analytics side so that we can see what your data looks like. I don't care what you type in. You can type in Bugs Bunny for all I care. If you need to validate that a person is who they say they are, let's say for compliance purposes, you're going to know immediately if somebody has typed in something weird. You're going to know if they've made an error. You're going to be able to see all of that stuff in real time.